And Grand Theft Auto 5 just earned my seal of approval. This is badass. A parody of the Drive Jacket? That's freaking awesome. Well, it's about time I got down to another Blu-ray and video game update. Nice old big stack like I used to do every now and again. You see, I can never get around to doing it fast enough. It's always like either, okay, here's 4, or I don't get around to it forever. It's like, here's 32 or something. I don't ever think I did that many, though. I think first off, I'll start off with the video games. I've been ordering a lot of PlayStation 1 games. A couple PS2 ones. I'm actually missing one. I should go grab it. Driver 3. Should I talk about it? I'm going to hold it for the review. If you want to know my thoughts on Driver 3, go to my review. Here's what I'd like to say though. If you've watched my Driver San Francisco review, in that review I mentioned how Driver 3 is my favorite Driver game, and Driver 1 and 2 I also really liked. So I think I might review those. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas for the PS2. I've never fully wrapped this game yet, still to this day, because I always get a better game and then I'm like, San Andreas ain't that great. I mean, it's really good. It's pretty groundbreaking. One of the biggest games ever as far as map goes for open world, but some things just really piss me off. The shooting and stuff is like, that's just how it was then, and so I can't completely blame it. But some missions, my God, it's like, did they design them to be beaten? There's a few that's just, you sit there for an hour and you don't beat it, and I want to burn the game because of it. And Vice City, I borrowed this one along with San Andreas, and I might be giving it back. I don't know. I'm going to try and play it, and if I don't get into it, I'll just give it back because I just borrowed it because I wanted to see what it was about. I like Vice City stories. Vice City, I don't know. Everyone loves Vice City. Still haven't played it. Now that the cat's out of the bag, I might as well talk about GTA 5 a little bit. This is one I'm definitely going to review, and I'm really excited to because I'm also going to review Grand Theft Auto 4. It's somewhere over there. And I guess I might as well go and review Red Dead Redemption, the Grand Theft Auto 4, Balligate, Tony and Lost in the Dams DLC packs that went with it. Any other ones? Should I just review all of them? I'll review Max Payne 3. Already reviewed LA Noire, so I don't have to. But for some reason this comes out, I'm like, review every Rockstar game I've ever played. Why not? I don't do enough video game reviews. If you don't own it and you like open world games, exciting games with good stories, or just fun games where you can explore around a lot, and if you like games in general, pick it up, okay? It's worth it. The Sandlot 20th anniversary Blu-ray, and it looks like a baseball. Amazing. Childhood classic. Once I was, 7 I watched it. This came out like 93. And a great movie about baseball in general. Really fun family movie, nostalgic, and why the God did they have to make sequels? Sandlot 2? Oh my God. And they made a third. And I've seen both. I saw Sandlot 2. In fact, I got to review it for class, English class or something, and I got to just rip that movie new asshole. So that was fun. And Sandlot 3, I stopped paying attention halfway through. I don't know what I was doing the other half. I know I sat through the whole movie. Yeah. Wreck-It Ralph, a new favorite. Disney and... It wasn't Pixar, but Disney. Really good job on this, okay? I reviewed it. You already know what I think. That one and Paranorman for 2012 tied for my favorite animated movie. Some days I like Wreck-It Ralph better, some days I like Paranorman better. Love this one, still got to pick up Paranorman. But my God, just a really good story. Interesting concept about the villains of video games being the main character. Such a touching movie, and it just breaks your heart at some points. I mean, the part at the end, I don't know. If you haven't seen the movie, that makes no sense. Django Unchained. Frickin' Tarantino's best movie, I would say. This one or Inglourious Basterds. And I know, a lot of people are like, yeah, but what about Pulp Fiction and Reservoir Dogs? Don't get me wrong. Reservoir Dogs was my favorite Tarantino movie for the longest time. I love Reservoir Dogs. That's his first movie I ever saw. And then right after that, I just went out like, what's his newest thing? And I heard about Inglourious Basterds, so I just went out and rented that thing and watched it like 10 times. Because I love Reservoir Dogs, great movie. Inglourious Basterds, I liked a little bit more. It was just something about it I just loved. It's World War II, but it's all fake. And they kick the shit out of Hitler and blow him up and shoot him like 600 times. Like stuff like that, I thought it was real fun. Some people let down by the advertising because they thought it was going to be a more action movie like Defiance with Daniel Craig. No, but I love it. And Django Unchained, just as good, if not better. In Django Unchained, you feel a little bit more the weight of like slavery. Like you get slavery's really bad, and you can tell by this movie. In Glorious Bastards, you get that the Holocaust is going on, but it's not as a much broad issue as it is in Django Unchained with slavery. And you know, don't get me wrong, I love Pulp Fiction and Reservoir Dogs, but Tarantino's two newest are probably my favorite. Family Guy is the best cartoon ever made. I said it. Yeah, I know, there's other things. I mean, well, I won't. I'll retract it slightly. Slip Batman in front. That's the best because it's very dramatic. This is the funniest. Okay, Futurama, Simpsons. I flat out don't like The Simpsons. I mean, if I watch it, I'm sure I would, but I can't sit down and watch it for some reason. Futurama, I like, but Family Guy's hilarious. And Ted, Seth MacFarlane made a movie. It's got that whole Family Guy feel. Look at that. Look at his bonus features. Hilarious movie. Another really good comedy from a different spectrum, though. A horror comedy, Warm Bodies. A movie about a zombie that gets a heart and goes after Teresa Palmer. I always confuse her with Amber Heard for some reason. Really fun, like, inventive idea. Zombies that can be brought back to life. So it's a romance that can work out without her having to kill him at the end. Like, these are good characters, and the guy's a zombie. That's cool. Go from a zombie movie to a superhero movie. Iron Man 3. I still don't own Iron Man 1 on Blu-ray. I don't know why not. I have it on DVD. I never got the Blu-ray yet. I should do that now. Yeah. Iron Man 2, I will never. I won't even put the poster up, okay? The only way you could get me to put an Iron Man 2 poster up, if you got some image of Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow and made a poster of just that, I would. Because I saw the Iron Man 2 poster at the theater where I work, and it was basically like Iron Man, War Machine, Whiplash, Scarlett Johansson, Gwyneth Paltrow, and I was like, the movie's a fail. The movie's a definite fail. Watch my review. I talked about it. It's just, they sucked a lot of the humor out, even though they were trying really hard to be funny. It just wasn't. All the drama was missing, and it sucked. I mean, Whiplash, they really screwed up that character. He's supposed to be some guy that exposes Tony Stark so someone else can come get him, but it turns out he's going to do it himself, and then at the end, they beat him by aiming their hands at him at the same time and blow him up in 5 seconds. Yeah, what a villain fight. And this one, I've rewatched it. In my review, I was a little too positive. I gave it like an A-. I should have gave it a B+. It's a really fun movie, really funny. Shane Black directed, and I think he wrote it too. I'm not sure. Does it say? Yeah. And I like it. It was really funny. Slightly missing on the drama and the whole thing with the suit being pretty inferior because it breaks apart all the time. They did that a little too much just for comedy's sake, where it's like, Iron Man is now the Tin Man. It's not even an Iron Man suit anymore. It just falls apart. And the whole, he blew up all his suits and stuff. And some of the other stuff in the movie doesn't exactly bother me. The Mandarin, the stuff with that, I liked. I talked about it. Iron Man 1 is better because the drama works a little better with the story. But this one's still a lot of fun. Up next, Scream 4. I own the first one and this one. I won't own Scream 3 for a fact. And Scream 2, I watched it recently on Netflix, and I don't think I'll be buying it for a long time. Just doesn't work for me like it used to. Scream 4, I know, a lot of people didn't like it. Like, the twist at the end, can I spoil it? I'm gonna. So, until this text right here is gone, cover your ears or something, because I'm spoiling the ending. The whole Emma Roberts thing where she's the killer, yeah, that's dumb, because she's basically like I could take Emma Roberts and break her over my knee. I don't care if she's dressed like Ghostface. I could take her out. She's a tiny little thing, and she's supposed to have killed them all. Or maybe it was Macaulay Culkin's brother. Was it Rory Culkin in this? Or was it Kiernan? Because one of them was in Scott Pilgrim, and one of them was in this. This is Rory Culkin. And maybe he did it. He's just as weak as Emma Roberts. I could take them both out. That's stupid. And the other thing, Courtney Cox, David Arquette, and Neve Campbell, it's tired with them. Neve Campbell's a good main character, but you know what? Next movie, if they do another one, just do it to end it. Have it be David Arquette decided to be the killer finally, or Courtney Cox did it because her career sucks and she's in a boring marriage, so she decided to kill people. Or Neve Campbell, she went nuts after 4 movies, she decided to become the killer herself. Or do it some killer's doing it again, but then it drives one of them crazy, so then there's the 2. And, you know, you could do anything, but they've been in it for 4 movies. It just feels tired and bored when they can't even have other people show up. Like Hayden Panettiere, I love her. She's not going to be in the next one. We know that. And she's one of the funnest characters in any horror movie ever. I really liked her, and they're not going to have her next time, so way to screw that up. I never owned a Nintendo 64. I admit it. I'm a PlayStation kid. I was ejected from the womb in 1996, and so I wasn't exactly, oh, I grew up on the Nintendo 64. I grew up on a PlayStation, PlayStation 2, and then I got a PS3. Okay, I played Nintendo 64, Super Mario. That was great. Or was it Mario 64 or something? I forget what it's called. You know what I'm talking about. Super Smash Brothers. There's a couple. Pokemon Stadium. I love some of those games. They're great. I didn't like Zelda, though. That just wasn't for me. And I love them. And so GoldenEye, that's one I never played. I played it maybe once, and I was just kind of like, meh. But I do like this. Or at least I remember do. I grew up on this. Tomorrow Never Dies. A lackluster movie. And this video game, people say, it's not remembered at all because looking at the back, look at those poor graphics. Like, I mean, look at him skiing. That just doesn't look good. And so they're like, it had shitty graphics and it was a terrible game. I remember really liking it, if it not being somewhat difficult. But once I got into it, I'm like, yeah, this is pretty fun. This one you don't have to get into. It's a very easy sit down and play kind of game. Twisted Metal Small Brawl. I will be buying some other Twisted Metal games, particularly like 2, 3, 4. Or maybe 1, 2, 3. I don't know. One of them was really bad. It might have been 4. I don't know. But this one, this is my favorite, where they take the Twisted Metal characters and make them little kids. And so it's like, Sweet Tooth has got an ice cream RC truck and all that. That's a lot of fun. And all the levels and stuff, the theater, the football field, the tree house, the playground, the kitchen. Like, I like all the stages, and it's a lot of fun. Just go around shooting other cars. It's like Death Race, but it's even better. No Country for Old Men, great Coen Brothers movie. It took me like 2 viewings to get the genius of it, because at first I was like, it's really good, but I just kind of don't get why everyone loves it. It's good, but I never really caught on to why. It's winner of 4 Academy Awards. Now I do. It's a really good sort of cat and mouse chase thriller. And at the end, some people are bothered by the end. I'm like, I like the end because it's different. Another Coen Brothers movie, Burn After Reading, and then The American in a double pack. I saw this for like $6 and I was like, hell yeah, because I love Burn After Reading. A really funny Coen Brothers movie about just how it's almost a Pulp Fiction. A random assortment of characters are all idiots and they get entwined in a story that's just dumb and weird. And The American I haven't seen yet, so I'm going to sit down and watch that. I love Brad Pitt in this movie though. In Burn After Reading, he's great in that movie. And The Wizard of Oz. We'll have to see the Wonderful Wizard of Oz. Yeah, I know. I'm not going to turn this into the singing hour, but The Wizard of Oz, great movie that came out 39 or 1933. It was in the 30s, I'm sure of. Maybe I'm talking 39. Pretty sure. Great movie. A classic in every sense of the word. You got to own it. And if you don't like The Wizard of Oz, you have no heart. You like the Tin Man. Next up, Hard to See 3D cover. But if you remove that, Pacific Rim. I love Pacific Rim. That was one of my favorite movies of the summer. And a lot of people are like, yeah, it's dumb fun, but it's not great. I thought it was great. It's what Transformers should have been. Because this was like Transformers without the really stupid humor. It was more smart humor. And it didn't exactly bomb, but it didn't do nearly as well as it should have because people were out to see Grown Ups 2 and stuff like that. Those people need to die. And we got a triple threat of Ryan Gosling next. But before that, Halloween, the 35th anniversary edition. And this is pretty cool. I'm gonna slide over. Come on, come see me. We're gonna look at this together. So you open it up and you get a nice little poster. I'd like that on my wall. And then you got like a digibook. So you can flip through and just read whatever was in there. I didn't actually look at it yet. And then you slip the Blu-ray out of there. And Halloween, classic horror film. I watched it this year on Halloween. It's great. Yeah, it's pretty damn slow paced and some of the stuff doesn't quite hold up. But in overall, it's a classic. Without that, we wouldn't have some of the stuff we have today. Friday the 13th was a copycat ripoff of Halloween, and because of it did that and ripped off Halloween, we eventually got Jason Voorhees, who's my favorite slasher of all time. And because we got that Halloween movie, we eventually got the Halloween sequels, which I'm going to start reviewing again. I already reviewed 6 recently. Michael Myers in a cult. Being controlled by a cult. And he impregnates his own niece. Yeah, so glad we got that. Alright, the Ryan Gosling triple threat. Should I do it in... I don't know. Blue Valentine, one of the most depressing romance movies ever. Yeah, it's basically 2 people get together, fall in love, and then their marriage just degrades and falls apart. And I love watching it, it's great. Does that say something messed up about me? I don't know. I love it though. Great movie. Not very happy though. Don't watch it with your girlfriend or wife. You'll break up. Only God Forgives. A very controversial and divisive movie where people were either like, it's good, or people were like, it fucking sucked a bag of dicks. I don't know how many people were in the middle just like, All I saw was people either saying they hated it or didn't like it, or just kind of like they kind of liked it. I really liked this, to be honest. I thought it was very interesting, if not somewhat flawed in the writing. I mean, it's literally Ryan Gosling. Here's a picture. Ryan Gosling just staring off half the movie. Which I could watch Ryan Gosling stare off for 2 hours, which the movie was almost 2 hours. It was an hour and a half. I could have went for another half hour of him staring off. Why not? He's a good actor. He can pull it off. I'm thinking about a guy basically like going to war with God. I thought that was interesting enough. A beautiful movie. You can't outdo it. If this doesn't get an Oscar nomination for cinematography, that is a huge mistake and a robbery and a snub that the Oscars will never be able to live down, because this movie is technically beautiful and well directed. The acting and story, very lacking, but I still really liked it. Another one that should be nominated. Best Actor or Best Supporting Actor, depending on who wants to take which. Place Beyond the Pines, also Best Directing, and you could say Best Cinematography. Cinematography. Ryan Gosling as the Moto Bandit, and everything else that happened. But I love The Place Beyond the Pines, a great epic about fathers and sons. What a good movie. Also directed by the same guy that made Blue Valentine, Direction France. I think that's the fancy way to pronounce it. I love Place Beyond the Pines. Spider-Man. If you're a 90s kid, you were born in the 90s, played video games in the late 90s, early 2000s, which is when this came out. 2000 this came out. So the whole 90s thing, whatever. This game is the perfect Spider-Man game, if you ask me. Unless you count Ultimate Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2. Those are also the perfect Spider-Man games. Because Ultimate Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2 had something this didn't. An open world that you can swing around in. This one's different. You can web swing from building to building, but only in a path that they want you to go to further the story, which is a fun story. And I mean, Venom in this, he's like the Joker where he's cracking jokes and stuff, but it's a lot of fun. That game is just so good. The only thing that Ultimate Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2 improved on is a longer story, and you can swing around the whole city. Aside from that, that game's got it all. As did the sequel, Spider-Man 2 Enter Electro. Same type of game, all the same mechanics and features and stuff. It's up on this one. The one thing missing, you can go on the ground, because in Spider-Man, you web swing from building to building because there's like fog on the ground, and if you go there, you're dead. In this one, you can swing from building to building or go to the ground, depending on which level you're on. You can also unlock all these costumes and stuff right here. A lot of good boss fights in it, and that's fun because Spider-Man 2, The Amazing Spider-Man 2, is coming out soon, and Electro is a villain in that. Interesting. Crash Bandicoot Warped. This is the 3rd game, I believe, and my favorite. Here, just look at the back. Here's the different tasks you can do. You can be like, I forget who the girl version of Crash Bandicoot is, but like you can ride on your tiger or a jet ski and go fight pirates, or go on the Great Wall of China. You can Crash and do motorcycle races, playing things, running around Egypt. You fight Tiny Tiger in the Roman Greek Colosseum or something like that. It's just very varied. You have a lot of different stuff to do, and it's my favorite Crash Bandicoot game. But My favorite video game ever made. Other than maybe Grand Theft Auto 5. That's the only one that compete with it. It's Toy Story 2. Maybe the best Toy Story movie out of the three. The best video game I may have ever played. I grew up on this. This is like 70% of what I did as a kid. Besides from playing a lot of toys, I did this and the Spider-Man games. This is just, oh, what a great game. It's the story of Toy Story 2 from the Buzz Lightyear perspective, where Woody's kidnapped and you got to go from place to place to try to find him. You get to run around Al's toy barn, Andy's house. You get to the airport. I'm not going to spoil it all, because if you never played the game, I actually say go out and find it. Go on Amazon or something, buy it. This game's great. The best game ever. The most fun game. And it's not too hard, it's not too easy. It's right in the middle of difficulty. I could go on about this game, but I'm going to review it eventually. Maybe for Christmas. As a Christmas gift to myself, I will review Toy Story 2. So those are all the Blu-rays and video games I've got over the last couple months. Since my last video, whenever that was. This is how many since then, basically. And did you check on my shirt? If you don't have this shirt, you're not cool enough, unless you go to Redbubble and buy it. And then you are cool enough. Just when I think I'm out, they pull me back in. I was editing, about ready to upload my newest Blu-ray update, which you've already seen most of it. Yeah, and I come across this one. Look, my old background, my old house. I filmed one and forgot about it, so I got 4 more to talk about. Because I already talked about Django and Ted. The Hurt Locker. Amazing war movie. I love it. Jeremy Renner, him, Anthony Mackie, and Brian Garrity a little bit too. They're breakout movies where it's like, yeah, these are all really good actors. Jeremy Renner and Anthony Mackie have made a lot more of their careers than Brian Garrity, but he was good too. And Catherine Bigelow, she made Point Break, and that was amazing. Hurt Locker, really good too. Both for different reasons though. J.J. Abrams' Star Trek, the first one. I'm going to buy Into Darkness soon so I can see it. I missed it in theaters, but this, I figured, well, I'm going to see Into Darkness in theaters, so I better catch up on this, and I didn't even see it in theaters. Reservoir Dogs. This movie inspired me to no end. This is the first movie where I was like, that is some professional filmmaking where someone sat there and thought this all out. Planned dialogue in such a different way, all these great things with the camera. And that's where someone's in charge of a movie and making it their own. And it made me want to make movies. And so I owe a lot to Reservoir Dogs. And lastly, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. You get Daniel Craig and you get Rooney Mara. You look inside. Yeah, you get the Blu-ray. The DVD looks like it was a burned copy, so that's funny. So comment below if you have anything to say about any of those Blu-rays. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.